Hi, I'm Sarah Fay, and I'm going to be teaching a class on the 5 things I've learned about writing illness. And I hope you'll join me. I'm an author at HarperCollins and think a lot about writing illness because I've written 2 memoirs on illness and am in the process of probably writing my third. So I wrote Pathological, the True Story of 6 Misdiagnoses, which is about the 25 years I spent in the mental health system. I received 6 different diagnoses. This is an experience a lot of people can relate to. And that book really has changed a lot of people's lives and certainly changed mine. It allowed me to think of illness differently and my illness differently. Then I wrote the sequel, Cured, which is about my recovery from serious mental illness, which we're told is not possible, but it is. And now I'm working on an illness memoir about my mother's precipitous fall into dementia. So, again, it's something I think a lot about. And what we're going to do is really dive into how to write stories of illness. So, how do we describe the indescribable? It's all of the physical, the emotional, the mental pain that we go through. How do we even get that down on paper and put it in words? We'll also look at how do we say something new? Only the rarest diagnoses have not been written about, right? Mental illness, dime a dozen, right? They have their own genre, the mental illness memoir. So, how do we go about saying something new? And this is something I really thought a lot about when writing Pathological. I happened to get very lucky because I found an agent who was willing to include my love letter to punctuation along with my story of illness. We'll talk about that. And then how do we evoke emotion in the reader so that our story of illness doesn't sound like one long pity party for us? And then how do we make our stories about something bigger than ourselves? And this is something that comes into all of my writing, in that I really believe that nonfiction can be an avenue for social justice. And you don't have to feel that way too. Absolutely not. And sometimes that's not the role of a mental illness memoir or any illness memoir. But that's how it played out for me. And I think for authors, when we look at how can I make this about something larger, which may just be the human experience, right? As authors, we're in our rooms, we're writing by ourselves, and we can get very solipsistic about it. So, how do we broaden that? How do we think about it in terms of the human experience so readers can come to it too, even if they've never had Parkinson's or dementia or whatever it might be? And then there's the biggest difficulty of all. Does healing really occur in the act of writing? When I was on tour for Pathological, it's something I was asked over and over and over again, which is, did writing the book really heal you? And that's something I want to have a conversation about. So this will also be very, very interactive. I'll tell you what my response was to that question in the class. So I hope you'll join me.